Hello. In the last episode, what we did was create a new project. And in this episode, our objective is to create version control. Um, so, what you can do is head to the Epic Games launcher again, and then you head to the library. I'm sorry, I think first you go to Unreal Engine to get to here, and then you click on the library, and then you can search for the project name that you started. And that's how we're going to open up the project that we started. And there's a preview of the cube, which we updated the material. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and start opening that by double clicking. Then we can open our project. You can see the version you're using starts, it's at pause. And then from here, it might take up to a few minutes to load. But what I want to do is describe what version control is. So I'm going to Google what is version control for Unreal Engine because I think this can summarize it better than I can at the top of my head. So version control for UE is using software to track projects. Using software to track changes to project files. For example, code, assets, and levels for backups, history, and team collaboration. Um, and the one that we're actually going to use is referenced right here, Diversion. So, in my experience, limited experience, I guess I should have started if this is your first video joining. I would consider myself between beginner and intermediate for Unreal Engine. So this is by no means a professional tutorial to follow. The point of this channel is to kind of learn and help me make a game, and we can all, as a community, kind of hopefully make something happen and learn things along the way. So uh, let's see. Again, so the reason I want to start with version control is because in the prior projects I was using GitHub and it was a little confusing to me. I don't think I had set it up correctly. And then someone I was talking to recommended Diversion. So that's what we're going to use. And basically, you can get so far along in a project and not have proper backup or ways to revert your changes that you've made into the game because these files can get pretty big. And then there's also tools available to collaborate with other team members. So this is something fairly new to me. I watched a couple videos, one of Matt Asplan and I think one of Cobra Code. So I'm going to go ahead and try to just follow some of those steps. And again, I'm not going to, in this video, do like an in-depth review or demonstration of the tool. I'm just going to set up minimally what I need and what I hope to accomplish. So Unreal Engine is still loading. Looks like the Epic Games launcher just picked up again, but I don't see my project loading. Oh, here we go. So the project is now open. And what I'm going to do is head over to the Fab Marketplace. Fab is Unreal Engine's version of a marketplace to buy assets, characters, things of that nature. So I'm going to click on Fab. I've got one that I'm interested here, pop up right away. Easy multi-save. I don't have it yet, but someone was telling me this is a must-have. Easy multi-save. So maybe I'll get that on a holiday sale or something. But I'm going to go into Diversion. Effortless version control. So I have it saved to my library, but I'm just gonna. I played with it a little bit, but I still haven't set it up correctly. So we're gonna learn here. So I'm gonna click on View and Launcher, open Epic Games Launcher, which we should already have pretty available. So here's this different format of the launcher, I guess. Diversion. Here we are again. And to install the plugin, what I want is 5.7. Why? Oh, I think because I had already gone through this step. So install the plugin. I had already, before this video last night, I tested this and I failed. But what I did here was 5.7. I selected it, then clicked install. And then it goes pretty quickly. So now what I think I can do is from maybe the launcher from here? No. I think from my actual project. Once I installed it to 5.7, the next step would be go to Edit and Plugins. And then we go to, in the search bar, we'll type in Diversion. And right now I have it checkboxed, but if you're doing this for the first time, it would be unchecked. So go ahead and checkbox, and then in the bottom right, you'll receive a prompt to restart the engine. So go ahead and do that. And then the next step would be to from here, on the bottom right, you go to Revision Control and connect to Revision Control. Then from here, we're going to click on Diversion. But what I expect is an error to pop up saying that basically I can't do it. So let's accept the settings. And you can see that here there's a connection error. So this is what I ran into last night. So it says you need to initialize the project as a diversion repository first. So this is part of, like, I think the benefit of this channel is you get to encounter imperfections. So what I did then was I went to the Diversion webpage. Let's just go there. Diversion Unreal Engine. Then I downloaded the desktop version. So I think you just get that here. Products, Diversion for UE. Click at the top, Products, the drop down, Diversion for UE. And download Diversion from Fab. And then the Diversion docs on the web. So I think somewhere here was like download the desktop app. I think actually you had to create a login and then download it. So it's pretty simple to just download the desktop app, and then you'll just be prompted like any other app to download it in your directory. So I'm going to open that now. And then you're going to get a screen like this here. And the reason I got that error in the engine is because I have not set up the repository. So this is also what I failed last night. So we're going to try it again today. I think I found the answer after watching some YouTube of those guys I mentioned earlier. So I'll click on New Repository, Create New Repository. And we're going to create a new folder. Let's name it Westins World Series. A new folder with a specified name will be created. Okay, I already forget if I should do existing or new folder. I think I'm gonna go new folder. Actually, no, I'm gonna try create from existing folder. And then I'm gonna search to find where that folder is. So I found my project name at the highest folder level, Westins World Series. I'm going to try that. Go to create. So now I have this local workspaces with the sync on and all repositories. And then I see this clone repo. I don't know if I should click this yet, but this is where it gets a little IT heavy for me. So I'm going to go back here. I wonder now if this will, connection error, if this will let me do it. Accept settings. Oh, look at that. Cool. Connection to revision control was successful. I don't know if you saw that pop up in the bottom right. But now I think we can start seeing some things to confirm that we set this up correctly. I am going to do a few tests. The first of which I'm going to enter through the drop down here to add a basic shape. Let's add a sphere next to the cube that we created. You can click on any of these arrows to click and drag and drop to move your, I think these are called actors around. An actor is an object in the viewport. That's probably not technically correct, but basically this is my summary. So I added that. I'm going to do a few more tests too. I'm going to add a blueprint. What I did was, your content folder has everything that you're going to work on, or mostly everything. And then I right clicked and I added a new folder called blueprints. Right now it's empty. Maybe there's something in there. You know what, just for purposes of this video, I'm just going to delete it. So I'm going to now start from scratch, right click, new folder, blueprints, enter. And we're going to open this and we're going to right click, add a blueprint class. We're going to add the first option in actor. And we'll name this BP underscore comb, just as a sample. So a few things to catch up. Blueprints is what Unreal Engine uses as like a visual scripting type of coding. You can also create games with C++, but I stated in the first video, I really have no experience with it. I have a little bit of experience with blueprints. And then that's what we're doing. So you can set up things to happen to this cone blueprint that we created. Next, there's a naming convention that will help you and help everyone in your projects. Typically, you name a blueprint BP underscore with a descriptor. And then lastly, you see the question mark that I have highlight that I'm hovering over, and that the help widget pop up with the question mark says item is not under version control. That's because this is a new file that we've added to our project, and we have not, I don't know if it's called checked in or submitted or pushed, but basically the last time that we have saved, it recognizes that this is new, and it's flagging for us that this is something new. So when we save the file, it should turn into maybe a red X, and then once we push it to Diversion, then it's going to be a green checkbox. So we're going to open this blueprint. We're going to do some, in the pop-up windows, I like to drag it and kind of connect them. Otherwise I get too many windows. So this is what the blueprint user interface looks like. And the viewport here, this is where we are. I'm going to just click add and add a mesh, which is, let's see what the technical term is. A static mesh is a piece of geometry that consists of a static set of polygons. So this blueprint, when I click on this, now has a static mesh tied to it. I'm going to click here, and over on the right is the details panel. This has everything related for the component that you have selected. So you'll see in the details panel, as I click through each different component, I have different options for details. And a component, it's not just defined here, I guess, with the help text, but you can attach many things to your blueprint, one of which is a static mesh. If you click on the add, there's all kinds of things here that you can add to a blueprint as a component, and then you can even add more, so in variables and functions. But right now, I just want to test version control. That's all we're doing in this video. So with a static mesh details panel, I'm going to select a cone. Now we have this cone. And then I guess I can search again for material. It doesn't look like we can. Maybe a texture. Scrolling down. Turn it lower. Oh well. Can't edit the material in here. Maybe you can, but in any case. So I'm back on the level. I'm in the default level third person. I'm going to click Control Space as a hotkey to open up our control panel, I think it's called. Content drawer. So let me maximize this. Control Spacebar again. Make this a little smaller, and then I'm going to drag this out. And then again, I'm going to raise this. So again, I showed you we can click and drag to move an object or an actor, but you can also use a hotkey R to scale. So that's it for now. So now what we have newly is this sphere, basic shape, a blueprint, and that's going to be it for now. But in any case, I have this BP cone. And you know what, let's go even one step further. Let's do our first line of code for this. In the event graph is where the visual scripting happens. They give you some starter points, event begin play. This is what happens when you click the play button every time, just to start your game in the level. Actor begin overlap. Basically, you can say or use this as a starting point for any time something overlaps a certain boundary of that actor, in our case, a cone. Then you can fire off some sort of code. For instance, as a healing point, maybe a character can walk through a certain distance or something like that, and then the player can be healed. And then event tick fires off every tick. So these are grayed out because they're not in use. But what I want to do is drag off, excuse me, one of the most simple things is print string. Excuse me, I need water. So a print string is something that's so simple, but it's used from beginners to professionals to test. It's used mostly to test. So what I want to do, you can click expand, most commonly to change the color or to see the duration of your print string, which I'll show in a moment. But let's do 6 because that's a long time for a print string, and I'll show what that means. And then you can change the text of what that means. So let's say, hello, cone friend. And then you'll see in order to really make this like go live, you have to compile in this top left. So compiling it. So now we've done 3 things. We've added a sphere, a blueprint actor to the level, and we've started our first string of code, which is just a print string on begin play. So I'm going to show what that visual scripting did. I'm going to push play, and then you'll see in the top left, it'll say, hello, cone friend, in that blue text, and it'll be up for 6 seconds. Hello, cone friend. After 6 seconds, it disappears. And then our objects that we're having fun with are over here. And to move with your third-person character, the default, it's the WASD and spacebar to jump. And then to exit this, you can push the escape key. So again, I'm just going to push play. And hello, cone friend. So we've done a few things. What I want to do now is check out how the version control is doing. Excuse me. So I'm going to click on view repo. I have 391 uncommitted changes. That seems like a lot. I don't know if that's because it's like the first time, the initial commit maybe. I don't want to do this yet. Basically, what I want to do is keep as much in engine as I can, so I'm not bouncing back between the desktop app and Unreal Engine. I like my workflow to be like as much in engine as I can so I don't get distracted and sidetracked. But for now, I'm just kind of doing the initial setup. That's why I'm having these little side by side. Excuse me. So I'm gonna hope that there's 391 files modified because it's like the first time the project has been set up. That must be all of the default engine kind of code behind each project when you first start it. So I'm gonna put commit message initial commit. That's I guess what it even says up there. Initial commit test. Okay, so I have to select everything. And because I'm doing this after, maybe we'll see if this checkbox is green. Maybe it's maybe it's smart in our benefit and doing something for us, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna click commit. Everything's gonna go. All these files. I wonder if our cone will be here. Blueprints. Oh, that's the third person blueprints. Content. Not seeing it. I'll just go ahead. Commit. Turning chaos into art, it said. Okay. So now I can't select anything. I'm assuming because that means everything is already good. My initial commit is here, so it didn't look like anything changed. But what I want to do now is let's pretend I was doing a normal workflow. I added these things. I'm ready to sign off for the evening. I want to go to File, Save All, or Control-Shift-S. Open this up, and then interesting, I was hoping this would be a different, maybe that's the plus icon. Oh, okay. Item is scheduled for addition. And then I have this pop up here notifying that you have 5 uncommitted changes. So what I can do now in the bottom right of my project is click on revision control. Now I want to commit the changes. Basically, the edits that we've done today, I want to get it caught up into our version control. So go to commit changes. And then what I see here is good. I don't remember what this 13 is. Maybe that's my, that must be the, no, there's the sphere. Interesting. Description will be, let's just name it the title of this video. It'll be episode 1, version control, diversion. And then I think I saw you can even like click into these to see what exactly is going on. Right click? No. Oh. I think I did something by accident. Let's cancel this. I don't know what that refresh thing means. I'm just going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to cancel it. So again, bottom right, commit changes. Oh, great. It's still there. Syncing item state with the server. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll learn by accident. Type. So I'm thinking like some of this captures the fact that we added a blueprint, and then there's capturing some sort of the code in the blueprints. And then the sphere. I don't know what VV is or 13. I wonder if I can figure out in the world outliner if there's something called like 13. Let's click on this. That's a sphere. And the cone. Oh well. I trust it. It's what we did was very minimal. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this finally. Push commit. See what happens. Commit.dv was added successfully. So that's that. And then instead of what I did previously of clicking here and then doing the commit here, I did all of it in engine. So it looks like this is working pretty cool. Let me just do one other thing real quick. I'll do, I'm going to add another shape. Actually, you know what? Let's just add a light so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to add a point light, which is like a light bulb. Revision control. Oh, I can't commit. Interesting. Oh, maybe because there's nothing because I haven't saved it. Let's go file, save all. Okay, I see some things going on here like syncing, synced. I have 2 uncommitted changes now. That's the pop-up I get here. So let's go to revision control, commit changes, PJ, and point light. Description is required. So I'll do again episode 1 version control diversion with light. So now I'm just going, I'm watching this. I think this again said, let me cancel just to check. I think it says I have 2 uncommitted changes. Yeah. So we can commit the changes. It looks like we've got this down now. Commit. Added successfully. Awesome. So if I added code to this light, like for instance, if somebody clicked a button and then all the lights turned on in a room, and that was what I had worked on for the day, then it would all be captured here. So now this is uploading nicely here. In the desktop app, I guess there's history. Okay, that's cool. This looks like what's currently being worked on, and the history is as it is. And then I don't know what happens when I click into here. This is a little bit beyond my pay grade, but I think we've accomplished what we wanted to. So again, the whole point of this, I want to set this up the very first thing I do because I've gotten like months and months and months into a project, just terrified that something unexpected would happen and a file crashes, and then unless you save it, for instance, in the cloud, which it can be tricky because of the file sizes, or if you didn't save it to like a big expensive external hard drive, then you're pretty worried about losing your progress. You also can, for instance, let's say I spent all week working on this level, Sunday to Sunday. Well, let's say on Wednesday, let's say I did it that full week, but then I realized I didn't like something halfway through that. So I wanted to take my progress back to like Wednesday or Thursday. Then I haven't got it quite down yet, but what you can do then is go back to your progress on your certain commit. So for instance, let's say I didn't like any of the things that I did, but I had saved my projects, and I want to go back to the very beginning. Then the version control is how you do that. So it's super crucial. I'm glad it looks like we got it set up enough at least to move on. This was definitely the first thing I wanted to get done. It might be silly, but we all have to learn somewhere. Thank you. So we're going to make a turn-based game. I think the next thing I want to do is really look into data tables, which is going to help us set up, for instance, like attack types. We'll pick a few things. And I'm going to work with maybe ChatGPT or Grok to just talk about conceptually starting points, like what should be in a data table. And then we'll dive into what is a data table, what's associated with it. I know there's a few blueprints that connect to it, like a struct. Or actually, I don't think a struct is a blueprint, but there's some code that connects to a data table. So we'll learn all that. And that should be it for the next one. Thank you all.